Now, University Don Patricia Ann Gadhiru Koome believes that her 30 years of experience in academia will be just what the judiciary needs as a breath of fresh air. But the panel interviewing her for the position of Chief Justice was keen to find out if her lack of practice in a courtroom will hinder her capacity to render judgments. Leila Mohammed reports on the continuing search for the next Chief Justice.
Professor Koome walked into what was perhaps one of her most public job interviews, broadcast to the country, beaming with confidence that she is what the judiciary needs. The questions that awaited the law professor ranged from her achievements to gender.
What kind of CJ will you be as a woman CJ?
I think leadership is not gendered, but I also think that men and women bring different values to leadership. There are things that women will do better than men.
The interview panel pressed on gender and representation within the public service.
God willing, you find yourself in the same, you are appointed as the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, and you find yourself in the same position as Maraga CJ in the matter of the two-third gender rule. How will you advise the President of the Republic of Kenya?
Justice Maraga did his duty under Article 261(7), and the jury is still out.
Professor Koome says if appointed as Chief Justice, she'll be ready to learn, especially where she lacks in experience.
Prof, you haven't been a legal practitioner in terms of being either on the bar or on the bench. So, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I would like you to convince the Commission and Kenyans that you are up to the task.
Practice of law is not really just about going to court.
When asked, she was also clear that orders of the court have to be respected.
What measures would you propose to ensure that all and sundry obey court orders?
So I would actually talk to the different arms of government about all of us working in concert to ensure that the rule of law is abided by.
When put to task over her engagement with the BBI draft document, Professor believes that some of the issues that the JSC members believe are contentious can only be dealt with via dialogue.
I was asked to present this report 3 days ago, and the condition that we gave with my colleague was that we should read it.
When you are Chief Justice, or if you are Chief Justice, is the concern raised by the constituency I represent, that is the judges and magistrates, and this commission about the amendments affecting the work of the commission in terms of bringing in the ombudsperson and the manner of determining complaints?
When you talk about accountability, answerability to the people, anything that can make us more answerable, I think is a good thing.
She was also put to task on issues of integrity and ethics, especially in decisions she's made in her career as an academician.
Taking unpaid leave from University of Nairobi, going to Strathmore University to create a law school.
I had even thought of starting my own law school. I consider myself also a person who thinks out of the box.
The stage now awaits for the third candidate on Wednesday, Lady Justice Martha Koome, to argue her case on whether she fits the bill to become the next Chief Justice.
Events that
Leila
took place
Mohammed.
within the corridors of justice within 24 hours to a repeat election in October 2017 played out in today's JSC interviews in the search for a new Chief Justice. Lady Justice Martha Koome, who was part of a 3-judge bench on the eve of October 26th of that election, was put to task on the contributing decisions and factors then. Justice Koome had no regrets nor apologies for that decision, as Leila Mohammed now tells us.
Thank you, Judge. Wish you well.
Lady Justice Martha Koome has once walked into a gathering of the JSC, seeking to become part of the highest court in the land. This time, she seeks to become the country's First Lady Chief Justice and notes that the 33 years of judicial service will come in handy to guide her in her everyday duties.
Please tell the Commission and the Kenyans who you are.
I grew up from an humble family.
She says the values gained from her mother still play a significant role in her judicial duties, citing the championing of rights for women and children, a feat she has been recognized for both here and abroad.
When we asked you to give...
For the third day running, however, ghosts of judgment past re-emerged. A decision made at 8 p.m. on the evening of October 25th, 2017 has come back to haunt Lady Justice Martha Koome, a decision she notes that was important for the constitutionalism of this country and was key for the elections to be conducted the very next day. In a complaint raised before the JSC, Khalef Khalifa of Muhuri complained about a judgment of the Court of Appeal that happened the very day and revoked a judgment of the High Court by Justice Odunga, declaring that all the returning officers and their deputies were illegally in office at the IEBC.
The day before that election was a public holiday. I was called by the registrar, Mr. Selem, and told that the president has certified a matter urgent and has sent the bench comprising of Justice Githinji, Sishale, and Koome hears the urgent application.
The president in question was the current Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, who was at the time the president of the Court of Appeal. Lady Justice Koome says that the matter was an ex-parte case which just needed to be heard immediately.
Who authorizes the court to sit after hours in the judiciary?
Well, it is the presiding judge, the president of the court, under the Court of Appeal Administration Act. So when the president of the court certified the matter and constituted the bench, said the matter be heard today because of the urgency, it is him I'm answerable to.
So we don't know whether the CJ authorized. Two, we know that the other party was not called, or rather, as a judge, you did not ascertain. Now, then you make the decision. Are you aware that, in fact, this decision is not even on EKLR, the decision that you made?
I'm surprised it's not on EKL because all the decisions of the Court of Appeal are transmitted, and it's not me who transmits.
The Lady Justice believes that the judiciary cannot run on one wheel, and the connectivity and collegiality relations of the team will be key for its transformation. Justice Marete Njagi has his day before the panel on Thursday.
Timelines. Our reporter Vincent Odor covered the final day of interviews.
It was the last day of interviews for the position of Chief Justice, a two-week exercise that brought 10 candidates before the Judicial Service Commission panel. But there will be no names yet. A Tuesday court order barred JSC from evaluating the candidates until a petition challenging the composition of the panel, among other issues, is heard and determined.
We will wait for the court process to be concluded before we resume and conclude the process in terms of announcing our nominee and also commencing the process of interviewing the judges of the Supreme Court.
JSC has filed an appeal against the High Court order, which may delay the process of appointing the next Chief Justice.
As a commission, we are very committed to ensuring a credible process and nominate the most deserving candidate when the time comes.
An affidavit filed by Solicitor General Ken Ogeto challenging the High Court order reads, any vacancy in the office of the Chief Justice must be filled within 6 months from January 12, 2021.
Tell us what the judiciary...
Rounding out the 10-day exercise was lawyer Alice Yano Chepkoech, an advocate of 25 years experience and former commissioner in the Constitution of Kenya Review Commission. She is the youngest and least experienced of the 10 candidates.
And all that partakes to being a Chief Justice. I've been a leader. From day one, I told you how by the time I was barely 21, I was a whole headmistress of a secondary school. The university, I was a student leader and leader to the Senate. CKRC, I was the deputy to the finance manager.
And when asked how she would address the standoff over appointment of 41 judges,
I'll start caucusing with the Attorney General. First, we sit down with the members of this commission. First of all, let us evaluate as members, what is the problem? Then if the next way forward is to go and see or meet with the appointing authority. If we have a lady CJ, like for me, I think I just pick a phone call and call Mama Margaret, kindly call me for a cup of tea and get me to know the moods of Mzee. Can he get to hear us? And then I come and talk to my members of the commission, we move and go and meet Mzee.
Yano was at pains to explain away constitutional provisions on education equality.
To expose diversity, let us move also the universities to other regions other than having them concentrated in areas that were well known to be concentrated.
What is the term used in Article 27 for that kind of intervention?
Can I maybe look at the Constitution, my lord?
Well, the answer is there. Maybe look at it. It is called affirmative action. So I'll move on to the next question.
The completion of the exercise pending the court case, now a step closer to the appointment of David Maraga's successor. Article 166, sub-article 1A of the Constitution provides that the President shall appoint the Chief Justice and the Deputy Chief Justice in accordance with the recommendation of the Judicial Service Commission and subject to the approval of the National Assembly. Vincent Oduor, NTV.